I was a shy and reserved kid, and I didn't have a lot of confidence. I certainly didn't want to stand out in a crowd. And those feelings carried through me into adulthood. In my early 20s, I was attending a work conference, and the speaker asked, "Can anyone tell me how we are supposed to treat others?" I timidly raised my hand and said, "You treat others the way you want to be treated." The speaker responded, "Wrong." I was humiliated. With a single word, this person who I didn't even know humiliated me and crushed my confidence. Words matter. They can encourage or discourage. They can hurt or they can heal. There are many factors that contributed to my success, like how quickly and efficiently the EMTs were, the precision of my surgeon, the compassion and care of my nurses, and the knowledge and skill of my therapists. Today, I want to tell you how words, your words, were and continue to be the foundation my recovery is built on. I don't remember much of my 8 days at Maine Med. My first real memories start when I was transferred to New England Rehab. I remember being greeted by Anne-Marie, not this Anne-Marie out there, and Chelsea, and they made me feel welcomed and they gave me hope. Anne-Marie had this way of making me feel like I was there, she was there just for me, like I was her only patient. It was a comforting feeling. I don't think at that point I realized the extent of my injuries and the mountain I had before me. And that was probably a blessing. I guess as I look back, I knew I couldn't move my left side, but I assumed that I would wake up one morning and it would just be back. I also didn't know how severely my vision was affected. My mother kept telling me to watch my own TV as I lay in bed. And I didn't understand why she kept saying that. But I realized that my roommate's TV was on my right side, so it was just easier to watch hers. Once I settled into New England Rehab, I got right to work on therapy. I couldn't have had a better team. My physical therapist, Shelley, always made me feel like there was no question I would walk again. She always encouraged me. My OT, Sam, I just smile when I think of her. I truly enjoyed my time with her. I knew she was doing her job, but she made me feel like I had found a new friend. Her therapy included more intimate and potentially awkward tasks, such as showering, getting dressed, and shaving. But somehow she had a way of making things like shaving my armpits, like her shaving my armpits, not so awkward. Speech therapy. I knew nothing about what a speech therapist did. I couldn't figure out why I needed it or what a speech therapist could do for me since I was already talking. Then I met Tom. Not only did he teach me to read again, but he explained how the brain works, but in a way that was interesting. I can only hope I became one of Tom's success stories that he can tell his new patients. My nurses and CNAs, what can I say? They were exceptional. They made me feel cared for. They can make or break a patient's experience, and they definitely made mine. One of my most vivid memories of my nurses was on a Sunday morning. Still needing assistance to use the bathroom, I rang for help. I don't remember who helped me into the bathroom, but I remember once I got in there, I saw myself in the mirror, and I broke down. The gravity of my new normal was more than I could handle at that moment. And in the words of Miley Cyrus, it came in like a wrecking ball. Sobbing, I asked the nurse to call my husband. When he answered, I asked, "Do you know I'm in a wheelchair?" Of course he knew, and I don't remember our conversation, but I do remember several nurses gathering around me with a level of compassion that went above and beyond their job description. I was released from outpatient on July 5th and started I was released from inpatient on July 5th and started outpatient on July 6th, so no rest. My deficits quickly became more apparent because I was no longer in a controlled environment. Everything was different. New schedule, new challenges, new expectations, and new therapist. I wasn't excited about getting new therapist. They had some big shoes to fill, but somehow, some way, they exceeded all my expectations. Outpatient speech. Steve never gave up on my lack of time-telling skills. He must have been frustrated when we did the same clock game session after session after session. He never showed it. He just kept encouraging me. He said he would wake up in the morning and look at the clock differently now because of all the times he watched me try to tell time. In outpatient OT, Brian Sherman, he's a glass half full kind of guy. He never let on or acknowledged that my deck was stacked against me. Even after watching me do a peg test for 5 minutes, he didn't show anything but confidence. He told me, well, now I have a starting point. All I heard was I was going to get better. He had to work on my focus and divided attention skills. He never showed frustration or discouragement. I knew that I would be able to conquer any of his tasks because of the encouragement he gave me. Outpatient PT. I had a team of physical therapists. This was the fun part of my therapy. They had fun and interesting ways to help me gain my strength back. I said I wanted to run, and they made it happen for me. In closing, it's been 2 years since my stroke. In those 2 years, I have been relentless in my recovery. In addition to all my therapies at New England Rehab, I've done osteopathic craniosacral therapy, acupuncture, weekly mental health counseling, and vision therapy. I was told I probably wouldn't drive again, and I couldn't accept that answer. I pursued several local eye doctors looking for help and got nowhere. Dr. Savadov suggested I look into Spalding Rehab Vision Therapy. It was there that I was able to get medically cleared to drive by Dr. Houston. Dr. Houston insisted that in order to be a safe driver, I should see a driving rehab instructor. Vision therapist Meredith Grinnell told me about Heather Shields, owner of Pathways Driving Rehab. Fortunately, Heather is located in Brunswick. It's fair to say, without Heather, I probably wouldn't have driven again. Her calm, confident, and logical guidance was exactly what I needed to pass my driver's test. And I did it before the first-year anniversary of my stroke. The stroke took a lot from me, but it also gave me a lot. It's given me new friends. It's brought me closer to my husband and an appreciation for the simple things in life. I'm more comfortable talking with people now, and I've even been known to strike up a conversation on the metro. To say it was any one thing that was the biggest contributor to my recovery would be misleading. So many people played a critical role in getting me here, but I believe had everyone not been so kind and encouraging, my post-stroke life would look differently. So your words, your healing words, made me believe in myself that this would happen. And they are the foundation my recovery is built on. Thank you. Thank you.